Luciano Benjamin is a 20-year-old political science major at James Madison University. Benjamin is scheduled to graduate college this spring and has his sights set on being a member of Harrisonburg City Council. 3 current councilors, 4-year terms wrap up this year, and they are Democrats Dina Reed and Richard Ball, and Independent George Hirschman. So far, Breaking Through has only been able to confirm that Dina Reed, who is also Harrisonburg's mayor, is the only one of the 3 that has announced she will seek re-election. Yesterday, I met with Luciano Benjamin on the James Madison University campus. Benjamin, who's running as a Democrat, told me why he is running and what the main issues of his platform are.
I'm running because I think that our world needs more youthful representation in the political system, right? I believe that the working class, the students, and our marginalized communities deserve somebody fighting for them. We need more people fighting for them, and that's what I plan on doing. The top 3 issues that I intend to cover in this election cycle and as my term on City Council is guaranteeing affordable housing for all, because I believe that affordable housing for all is a human right. Making sure that we locally address the climate crisis, because there's so many things that we can do here. The climate crisis is now, right? And we must mobilize everyone, not just the upper middle class, not just, white people. We must mobilize everyone, the marginalized, the students, the working class, immigrants and refugees. All of us together can have an impact on making our planet a better place for the future generations. And then the last issue that I'm most concerned about is embracing the cultural diversity of Harrisonburg and making sure that our immigrant and our refugee communities and the marginalized actually have a say in the political and economic discussions that we have in this city. So often we say that we're a friendly city, but when it comes to inviting these people to the table, we ignore them. And we need to do a better job at making them feel welcome and making them feel a part of the systems that we have in place in the city to serve them.
So how will the city of Harrisonburg pay for these things? Luciano says renegotiating the bulk sum of money that JMU gives the city each year, along with federal funding, will not only cover the costs, but will also strengthen the financial well-being of the city of Harrisonburg.
I have two main plans to help subsidize the majority of the costs for the things that I've laid out. So number 1 is renegotiating with JMU the bulk sum of money that they pay into our city. So they don't pay taxes, and they, control a huge chunk of our city that we could be collecting property tax off. As an exchange for them not paying taxes because they're a state institution, they give us a bulk sum of money every year. And that number, that amount of money has not been adjusted for decades. And so we must renegotiate with JMU to make sure that the amount of money that they're paying into our city is more fair. And that will subsidize the majority of these costs, we believe. It'll have a substantial impact on the financial well-being of our city. The next plan that I have to pay for the majority of these things is looking at the plans laid forth by Democratic candidates in 2020. In 2020, I firmly believe that we will be electing a Democrat to office, to the President of the United States. And I've looked at all the plans that they've laid forth, and I know how to utilize the federal funding that will come down into states and localities to better serve our city, because so often cities will either reject that funding or they just don't know how to use it. But I know how to use it, I know how we're going to use it, and I know how to make sure that we get the best deal possible.
I asked Benjamin what experiences he has had with the immigrant and minority communities that will guide him as a counselor in regards to working with and strengthening those communities.
I am Latino. I'm the son of an Argentinian immigrant, right? My grandparents and my mother and my aunt came from Argentina to Los Angeles, a few decades ago. And growing up with them and growing up in the Mexican immigrant community in California, I understand the struggles that we go through being immigrants or being the first generation born in the United States. I understand those struggles and I see the frustrations when opportunities aren't provided, and I know how hard our immigrant and refugee communities work. Our community, our city, Harrisonburg, is stronger with immigrants and refugees. They make our city a better place. And I know this personally and intimately, and I'm excited to be able to work with them and represent them as the first generation born here, because that's a unique perspective that we haven't had on City Council yet.
When asked if there were any actions taken by the current city council that did not sit well with him, Luciano Benjamin was careful not to criticize any councilors and instead focused on the actions taken by council that he is pleased with.
You know, I actually want to talk about some of the things that we've done right. You know, this push with Harrisonburg High School 2 was an amazing job by 3 of our city councilors, Dina, Sal, and Chris. I'm proud to say that I supported that movement and that I'm proud that our city councilors voted to confirm it. Because education should never be an issue that we politicize. The future of our kids is something that deserves to be held above the political quarrels that we have in our city. So I think that's something that our city has really done right, and I certainly would have voted in favor of that, and I will continue to vote in favor of education as a city councilor.
As I said, Benjamin did not criticize any councilors, but Councilman Richard Ball and George Hirschman's votes on HHS2 were not taken well by some city residents. Now, Ball is a Democrat, and Hirschman is an independent. Over the past decade, the city of Harrisonburg has become more and more Democrat, to the point that there is not a single Republican on city council. Should Ball decide to run for re-election, Benjamin could very well turn some former Ball voters his way. It's also possible that if Ball runs for re-election, Benjamin, Dina, and Ball could all win. The verdict is still out on whether or not Harrisonburg still has enough Republican voters left in the city to either help re-elect Hirschman, who received large Republican backing in the 2016 election, or run a candidate and win. But that's still yet to be seen. The possible scenarios are vast. Also, another city man has announced that he is running as a Democrat, and that is local businessman and architect Charles Hendricks. If you want to learn more about candidate Luciano Benjamin, listen here.
This is a movement for the people. This campaign isn't about me, it's about us. I'm taking that right off of Bernie because that's the message that we're pushing forward, that this is a movement for us, for the people, for the working class. I'm excited to be running to represent those people, but without them, we can't do anything. So I would encourage the people to go to luciano-benjamin.com and check out our website, check out our platform, follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and be a part of this movement with us. We're looking to bring people into the fold that have not been there before, and I think that our campaign is going to do a really good job at doing that.
In Harrisonburg, Theodore Whitelow, breaking through news.